Hello, everyone. We're here for another episode to bless your socks off with Natural Health Dialogue. And today we have a rare treat. We have a guest naturopathic doctor, and that would be Kim Anderson. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you, Joseph.
Once again, you've been on here a number of times, and we really enjoy having you. Now, today's episode, I want to make sure no one gets confused, okay? This is not a music program. If you were looking for a music podcast, you're going to have to go somewhere else.
Yeah, this is not it.
If you're a Tony Orlando and Dawn fan, they have a great song called Candida, right? Although today's episode, the title is Putting the Can-Do in a Candida Detox, we're talking about a different kind of Candida. So, Kim, help us out with that.
Yeah, I know it's a cheesy title, they can do, but I do have a purpose for that because I've just found that whenever we're trying to make some lifestyle changes or some health and wellness changes, just a slight mental shift can really make a difference in our progress. So we'll get through that, and I'll kind of explain what the can do is. But I really want to focus on the things, the positive things of helping with the Candida detox. Candida is one of the most challenging issues that we can have in the body, and it really contributes to a lot of health issues. We were talking this month about a Candida detox. So I'm just kind of following up with that, some things that we can complement with that detox. But one of the symptoms, or some of the symptoms of Candida overgrowth, because when we say Candida, we're talking about the overgrowth. Candida is one type of yeast that is part of the microorganisms in the intestinal microflora, so we definitely need it. We just don't want it to be too much, and it's when we have that overgrowth that we start to have the issues. And some of the symptoms that we can have with that would be sensitivities to food or food allergies, some chronic athlete's foot, or even for some it's chronic fatigue or mental confusion, the inability to focus. These can all contribute to health issues that are based in an overgrowth of Candida.
So
So like I
Candida,
said,
so Kim, Candida is a fungus? Is that the kind of organism that's it?
yes,
Okay.
it's Candida albicans is actually the name for it, but it is one type of yeast that is in our gut flora. And like I said, we want some of that for good health. We just don't want that to be too much. And if there is too much, there's some things that we can do to help improve that balance and to improve our health. One of those is to repopulate the good guys, the good gut flora, that helps keep the Candida in check. Another thing we can do is a detox. And again, one of our podcasts this month is how to detox. Dr. Lee is going to be talking about that. So he's going to be talking about some antifungals that are good for the detox. A third thing, and in my opinion, something that is really important to complement your detox is the diet. Candida, well, yeast in general, they like sugar. Sugar helps to build those cell walls and to reproduce those organisms. So they like it. That is a food source for them.
So that seems to come up quite a lot, this whole processed sugar thing.
Yes, it is. It is not, sugar is not our friend for sure. And we think about cutting out junk foods and soda, things like that for overall good health. But whenever we're talking about Candida overgrowth, we even have to look at even the more complex carbohydrates that can break down into glucose in the body, because they become a food source as well. So whenever we're trying to detox, we really have to get serious about the glucose that we're taking in, that we're ingesting. But again, I want to emphasize that this is doable. We can do this, even though it may sound challenging. So some of the things that we can do besides cutting out the obvious junk food is eliminating some of the more complex carbohydrates, rice, potatoes, even whole grain breads. Again, these will break down in the body and become a glucose source for them. So for a time, even those healthier choices may be something that we need to eliminate while we're trying to go through a detox and trying to get a better balance in the gut flora. So some of the things that we can focus on, that we can do to help to complement our Candida detox would be to eat non-starchy vegetables, more green foods, green beans, asparagus, things like that.
Okay, can I
Fruit
ask you a
has,
question?
yes.
So, is this something that is all or nothing? Like I've got to cut it all out, or I don't get any benefit, or could I do it part-time with gradually increasing gradually decreasing the amount of these starchy things like rice and whatnot?
I I think that's a very good question. In working with clients, I like to know where they are. The simple answer is to totally eliminate these things is going to give you the quickest health benefit and the most long-term benefit. However, if that is something that you, again, this is about what we can do. And if totally eliminating those foods is something that is really challenging for you, then I would recommend definitely cut out the obvious junk foods. That is going to go a long way in having a healthier diet, a healthier body, a healthier gut flora. Um, and then if you need to, we can kind of gradually decrease the other foods, whole grain breads, rice, potatoes, and things like that. Again, the best benefit is going to be elimination for a while. It doesn't have to be for the rest of your life, but total elimination is going to be the best. But if we need to work gradually, then totally doable. That is a
Okay,
can do that we can,
there's
that
some
is
benefit to
possible.
it. All right.
Proteins are very good. We can eat proteins. Just make sure that you stay away from processed foods or processed meats because you have your sulfates, your nitrates there. And also deli meats tend to have sugar added to them. So be a label reader. Look and see what is in your foods. Make sure you're not getting any additional unwanted sugars. Bone broth, absolutely love bone broth. It it is so healing, and it has natural collagen, natural source of collagen, has a natural source of L-glutamine, which is very good for health, for gut health. So it helps restore the integrity of the gut. So bone broth is something that would be very nutritious and very healing, and definitely something to add to the low candida or low sugar diet. Adding some nuts, almonds, cashews, pecans. These are wonderful foods that you can eat. But peanuts, not so much. Those are underground. They have a tendency to be moldy. And even though they haven't found that mold necessarily feeds the candida overgrowth, it can cause trigger as far as allergies.
Mm.
Having food allergies again is a symptom of candida overgrowth. So we don't want to trigger anything. So I would recommend staying away from the moldy foods like peanuts that grow underground. Spices are wonderful. Just adding them to foods in general. But there are some spices like turmeric and cinnamon that have wonderful anti-inflammatory properties. They also have antifungal properties, which is something that we want to add into our diet.
That's
So
great for this time of year, cinnamon, right?
yes, it is very much so. I love those foods. Good fats, avocados, olive oil, coconut oil. Coconut oil also has an antifungal property in it called caprylic acid. So adding that to the diet is just going to be one more element that we can do to help with keeping the body and the gut balanced and healthy.
They can make a
Um,
cinnamon avocado dip for their almonds.
there you go. I love it. We need a recipe. Okay, fit that together. We need that recipe. Um, Also, herbal teas. herbal water, plenty of water, some herbal teas, which again, this time of year, I love having some hot tea. So that would be something that you can do. And if you just need something, some sweetener for your tea or something like that, something natural like stevia can be something that we can do in the tea that would be helpful. Again, there are certain foods that have antifungal properties. So we can add those. Things like garlic can be helpful. Onion, those also have antifungal properties.
Mhm.
Ginger, another great spice for this time of year. Um, so they have great antifungal, great anti-inflammatory properties there as well. Podiarco tea, that's kind of a strange one. Not everyone hears about that,
Mm-mm.
but that is a excellent. It is an excellent product to add to a detox. It helps detox, because again, it has some antifungal properties to it. Cayenne pepper. You can't
Mm.
be an herbalist and not love cayenne pepper. It is used as a catalyst in so many herbal preparations because it helps get oxygen throughout the body. So whenever we're trying to heal, detox, then having that oxygen throughout the body is so important for that process. And cayenne pepper is just a beautiful catalyst. And on top of that, it again has some antifungal properties.
And it's a self-defense tool, right?
Yes,
Throw it in their eye.
yes, it is. I don't recommend using that. I don't recommend utilizing that, but definitely add it to some foods.
Okay.
It'd go nice with that turmeric and cinnamon. So you might try that if you like a little heat on that avocado dip that you were talking about. Might be something to add to that too as well. Okay. So really, those are just some basics, some basic things. Again, I think the diet can be the most challenging part of a detox. So just having that mental shift of focusing on the things that you can do for good health instead of focusing on the things that you can't have or can't eat. I think whenever we're focusing on what our goal is, it makes it so much easier, if you will. It's not going to be totally easy, but it makes it more doable whenever you kind of have that mental shift of these are the things that I can do for good health and to help with any kind of overgrowth of Candida albicans there. So um, again, just some kind of closing comments. Whenever you're detoxing, you can really go through what we call a healing crisis, where you may feel worse before you feel better. And if that happens, you can kind of cut back your detox a little bit, or kind of slow down your program a little bit. I like low and slow. I've talked a lot with my clients about that. I'd rather you go low and slow than get into a crisis and feel like you need to give up. So cut back if you need to on your program. Drink plenty of water. Rest as much as you possibly can, and know that this will pass. Your body is just flushing out those toxins, so it will pass. So drinking plenty of water to help get those toxins flushed out, and then getting some rest as much as possible, and give yourself some grace. We are so hard on ourselves whenever we think the we don't reach whatever goal in whatever time frame that we set for ourselves. So give yourself some grace. Know that your body is fearfully and wonderfully made, and it's doing its job. We just need to give it the support for that too. So again, I just want to just encourage and stress that it is possible to do this. It is possible to have that diet. You can get more tips, on our website. Um, some more foods that you can partake in. And again, call us here at the store if you have any questions or concerns, or you think you might be interested in a detox. We're all naturopath doctors here, so we can walk you through that process. And
So Dr. Anderson, I was going to bring that up also here as we close. So you also do private consultations with clients,
yes,
do you not?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so if
Yep.
someone kind of likes what they're hearing, kind of likes you maybe from this podcast, and they'd like to get in touch with you for perhaps a personal consultation, how would they do that?
They can reach us here at the store, 736-1030.
That's area code 405 if you're not in this area.
Yes, area code 405. And so, yes, they can just call us here at the store, and any one of us can make an appointment with them. But if they want to speak with someone specific, then just ask for the naturopath that you would like to work with. And each one of us are knowledgeable in working through these programs. And I do think it's a good idea because sometimes, especially when we're not feeling well and we're not sure whether this is how we're supposed to be feeling, just working with someone can be very beneficial.
Yeah,
And getting some encouragement and
like
some
a
guidance
coach.
there.
Who wouldn't want a coach?
Right?
Oh, how do you get things done if you haven't had
Right?
somebody that's sort of
Yeah.
advising you, you know?
Right. Sometimes, we're all human, and we're told things we don't want to hear. That happens to me all the time. But I do think in general, it's good to have someone to just walk beside you in this journey called life. And I recently read something that said when you take the I out of illness, it becomes wellness, and the wellness is a WE. I feel like I totally botched that up, but the idea is don't go at it alone. It's better when we can do things together. So, let's put the we in the wellness and work together.
What a great way to end the program. Let's put the
Yeah.
we in wellness.
There we go. All
Excellent.
right.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson. And for all of you and our audience out there, we hope that you will be safe and healthy until next time.
All right. Thank you, Joseph.
You're welcome.